fraction and the power is a negative, you reciprocate this. Okay, because that negative can also mean something like this. 1 over 64 over 125 to the power 1 over 3. That's what it means. It's an inverse, okay? So it can be written as that. So when you have a negative and you have a fraction like that, the best thing you do is to reciprocate them. So it will be 125 over 64. Then we have 1 over 3. You might ask, how did it come about? So I said 1 divided by 64 over 121, 125. 1 divided by 64 over 125. Then if we change the sign, bringing multiplication, there is reciprocate. What I mean is this. We have 1 divided by, right, 64 over 125. So if we bring in the multiplication, this fraction reciprocate. So we have 125 over 64. 1 times that, we have 125 over 64. That's what I mean, that every time your power is a negative, reciprocate. Even when you have a whole number, if you add a 3, okay, then there's a 3 to the power negative 1. The fact that it's to the power negative 1, this can be written as 1 over 3, which is the same as the reciprocal of that 3. Okay, because 3 can be written as 3 over 1 if you want to put it as a fraction. So if we reciprocate that, it becomes 1 over 3. So every time your power is a negative, right, you reciprocate your number or your fraction or whatever you have been given. All right, my good friends, that's how you solve such. So now let's continue. So I'm saying that we have 64 over 125 in brackets to the power 1 negative 1 over 3. So because of that negative, we can reciprocate this. Now we're going to have 125 over 64 to the power 1 over 3. So now the negative is gone. All right. Then the next thing that you need to understand is that every time you have a power that is a fraction, a power that is a fraction, you look at its denominator. Excuse me. You look at its denominator. If the denominator is 2, square root whatever you have been given. If your denominator is 3, like the way we have a 3 there, you cube root. So what it means is a to the power 1 over 2 is same as the square root of a. Okay? And if we say a to the power 1 over 3 is same as the cube root of a. A to the power 1 over 4 is same as the fourth root of a. That's what I mean. So us having the power 1 over 3, that means we're now going to cube root the numerator and the denominator. So what we're going to have is the cube root of 125 over the cube root of 64. All right? Then, what is the cube root of 125? Anybody in the comment section? What is the cube root of 125? Somebody, anybody. Come on, guys. What is the cube root of 125? Excuse me. Let's put up some multiple choice. Oh, all right. Somebody has already answered. So we have 5. What about the cube root of 64? The cube root of 64? The cube root of 64? Anybody? Cube root of 64. Come on, guys. Let's have a class. Let's have a class. Cube root of 64 is 4. You are very much correct. This is now our answer. All right? That is our answer. So now, look at this. How do we find the cube root? All right? We look for a number that if we multiply that number, that same number, 3 times, we should get 125. So 5 was that number we are looking for. And the same thing happened to the cube root of 64, because if we say 4 times 4 is 16, 16 times 4 it is 64. All right, so now our answer is 5 over 4, or we can leave it as a mixed fraction, not as improper fraction. That means we're going to have 1, okay, with our remainder 1 over 4. So this will be our answer, or that. It's all right. Okay, this is